Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys that we definitely want you guys to stick around for. So please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel here. So as y'all know, MJ is one of my favorite players of all time, right? I think me, like many, believe that he is the greatest player of all time. I think that Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player to ever play the sport. I also think, and it's without a question, that he was by far the most popular player that has ever played in the, in the National Basketball Association, and I don't really think it's close. And there's hardcore data that we can refer to for that. No one made the casual fan care more about the NBA than Michael Jordan. No one really, right? No one really. If I try to pull up, Michael Jordan finals. Let me just see viewership. When Michael Jordan was playing, I still think to this day he still holds the record for the most watched NBA Finals game and the most watched NBA game in NBA history, and is absolutely incredible. These are league records. Okay, let me give you the highest numbers here. In 1998, when MJ was retiring, that season in the finals, he was able to pull in 29 million viewers for game one, 29. He pulled in 26 million for game two, 26.7. For game three, he pulled in 26 million. For game five, I believe he pulled in 30.6. And in game six, he pulled in 35.6 million viewers to watch him play. Let me give you some of the numbers that have come after that for the highest viewed games. There was game, 4 of the 2001 Lakers Philadelphia 76ers series in the finals. That one brought in 20 million. You have the Detroit Pistons again versus the Lakers back in 2014. That one pulled in 20 million in game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me give you guys some other viewership numbers of some other high numbers. Okay, let's look at some of the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors numbers. In 2016, they pulled in game 1 pulled in 20, game 2 pulled in 19, game 3 pulled in 17, game 4 pulled in 16, game 5 pulled in 16, game 6 pulled in 20. I think game 7, if I'm getting these numbers correctly, pulled in 20 or 31. I'm not 100% sure. And nowadays, if you look at the NBA Finals, teams are barely reaching 50 million views per game. So you got to ask yourself the question, with the advent of social media, with the fact that this is the greatest league ever, why aren't the numbers as big? The fact of the matter is simply this: the NBA reached the height of its popularity when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were playing, and when Michael Jordan was playing. These guys were just simply, for whatever reason, more popular than players today. And it's you can kind of relate it to Hollywood stars of the past and Hollywood stars today. Hollywood stars of the past are just more famous for whatever reason than actors that we have today. Think of a Arnold Schwarzenegger. Think of a Brad Pitt. Think of a Harrison Ford. Think of a Tom Cruise. Think of a Will Smith. Think of a Meryl Streep. Think of a Julia Roberts. Think of a George Clooney. These guys, for whatever, think of a Clint Eastwood. Think of all of these people. For whatever reason, they're just more popular. For whatever reason, than people are today, and social media is not really helping. Came across an article today here from the Sports Rush that absolutely astounded me, and I want to get into it here. Starts off with the headline: how much Michael Jordan has made from Nike in 5 years. The partnership between Michael Jordan and Nike is now 39 years old, and it has ushered in billions in revenue for its airness over the years. Michael Jordan is one of the greatest sports persons of all time, not just in basketball. For the longest time, MJ was considered the greatest team sport athlete of all time. He still holds the title in most fans' eyes, but now he has competition in LeBron James. His airness played in the NBA for 15 years, separated 2 different retirements during his prime. Jordan compiled a sterling career during this time, mainly through 13 seasons with the Chicago Bulls. The article continues on. How much has Michael Jordan made from Nike in the last 5 years? Michael Jordan signed a royalty structure from his Nike deal right from the start, getting 5% of the revenue from sales of his shoes. He kept those conditions of his deal intact to this day, benefiting a ton According to Statista, Jordan Brand made billions in revenue every year of the 21st century. Over the past 5 years, the brand has raked in $2.8 billion, $3.1 billion, $3.6 billion, $4.7 billion, and $5.1 billion. That totals up to an incredible $19.4 billion over the past 5 years in revenue for the sportswear giant. 5% of this sum in an awe-inspiring $971 million in personal revenues for Michael Jordan. The Jordan brand just crossed $5 billion in annual revenue for the first time. That means Michael Jordan made $150+ million from Nike last year alone, or nearly 2 times his career NBA earnings. Let's put these numbers into context. We're talking about an athlete that hasn't played professional sports going on 2.5 decades. MJ hasn't played basketball in 20 years. We're also talking about a guy that's not on social media, that doesn't post on Instagram, that doesn't post on Twitter. We're talking about a guy that barely speaks. You barely hear any quotes from Michael Jordan anywhere. You rarely hear people talking about him on TV at all. On top of that, there's an influx of media personalities now trying to say that LeBron is better than him or on his level, etc., etc., etc. And after all of these things, he is still dominating the sneaker market. The question you have to ask yourself then is, why? Why is this happening? The simple reason is this. I don't believe Michael Jordan gets to sit on the throne that he sits right now if he wasn't as successful as he is. I think MJ's success as a basketball player, as being the best two-way player of all time, the greatest player the sport has ever seen, goes hand in hand with the way he's been able to capture the imaginations of fans all over the world. The joke is you have people that are saying Michael Jordan is not the greatest, and they are wearing his shoes. It's a clown show. It's an absolute clown show. And the emotional connection people have with Jordan brand is unlike any other thing really in sports. Name another athlete that sells something that people connect to the way that people connect to Jordans. It's absolutely unreal. There's some people that have 10 or 20 pairs. I don't have 10 or 20 pairs. I got 10 shoes or whatever, but I don't have that many shoes. Some people have like 20 pairs of just Jordans. They still got other shoes. They got slippers. They got church shoes, work shoes. They got all their shoes, right? And they got other sneakers. And there are people that just go out there and collect Jordans. So to me, this is yet again just more proof of the level of dominance this guy's had on the sport. The last we really heard of Jordan was in The Last Dance. And somehow, some way, he still continues to dominate. So the question is, why do you think this is so? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments. We catch you on the next episode.